Greetings, Red Wolf Nation, and welcome to Inside IU East Sports. I'm Kyle Wright with the IU East Athletic Department, keeping the host chair warm this evening, and we're so grateful that you've joined us. To start the show, I'm joined by a couple of student athletes. They've been a part of 136 IU East soccer and basketball games, and more importantly, maybe 83 IU East soccer and basketball wins, joined by Haley and Brooke Conway. Haley, just finishing your junior year in the women's basketball program, and Brooke finishing your sophomore year in the women's soccer program. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And before anyone asks, yes, you're related, yes, you're sister, so we'll get that all the way right away. So in the Conway household, and maybe Haley, you first, since you might have the farthest memory back, but what got the two of you started in sports?
I think our older sister was one of the first ones to play sports, so she kind of got us started, and then I think I started playing soccer, and then Brooke kind of joined in and started playing soccer too, and that's where we started off.
Is that basically how you remember it as well? So.
Pretty much. I just remember playing soccer from a really young age, just rec soccer, so that's kind of all I remember from that. But
right. So obviously soccer, obviously basketball, other sports that were played in your household?
Softball. I think that's it.
Yeah, I played soccer and softball, and then I also ran cross country for a little bit, but that's the extent of it.
I did not run cross country. I'm not a big fan of running, but.
Okay. Out of curiosity, what position on the softball field for each of you?
I was an outfielder and I played first base.
I played shortstop and a little bit of first base, but I kind of got demoted from that role after a few balls went under my legs.
And this actually may lead into my next question. Only 1 year separation in school, so were you able to play on any of the same teams together growing up?
You want to answer that?
Yeah, we played t-ball together when we were really little. Our dad coached that team. And then we also played soccer together, actually, on the same team. So that was pretty fun when we were a little bit older. So that was really cool.
And I'll let you each take a turn answering this. Any particular favorite growing up playing sports together memory that maybe stands out in your minds?
I remember when we played t-ball together, Brooke got in trouble for playing in the dirt and picking dandelions. My dad got super mad at her. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah,
in your defense, I'm guessing you were like 4 or 5.
Softball was never really my thing, but Haley was a lot better at it. But yeah, I had fun.
Okay. And a similar memory maybe that stands out for you, maybe where you didn't get yelled at, but memory playing sports together.
I don't know. I just really remember when we were on the same soccer team, we were just always kind of really competitive with each other, to see who had the better game or who did what in the game. So I think it was just always fun after the games, kind of seeing who stacked up at the end of the match. But that's really it. Yeah.
Okay. And then you've both found a sport to kind of focus on. Haley, in the end, why basketball for your college career?
When I was younger, I wasn't even thinking about basketball. I played soccer initially, and then someone's like, "Hey, you're tall, want to play?" So, I don't know. I think it challenges me more than other sports, so that's kind of why I chose it. I like a challenge.
Okay. And Brooke, same question. Why soccer is your kind of sport of choice in the end?
I definitely just think because I started so young in it, I just kind of fell in love with it, and I always stuck with it and kind of favored it over all the other things that I did. So I think I just liked being able to run around and being outside, and yeah, I just really love the game. So.
Okay. So that kind of you're both from Noblesville, and that takes us kind of through the high school days. So then when it came time to choose college, Haley, you're the older one, so obviously you went through that process first. So how did you first hear of IU East, and why did you eventually choose IU East?
They actually came to one of my basketball games for high school, so not even through AAU, and I talked to one of our old coaches, Coach Moore, and they had me come on a visit, and I just fell in love with the campus. I like the small campus feel. The professors are willing to help you out no matter what. I really, really love the coaches. They're great. They're hard on me, but I still love them. And they had my major, which is elementary education. So.
Right. And Brooke, similar question, and the timing was perfect because if the two of you were even 1 year older, probably wouldn't have worked out for yourself because the soccer program wouldn't have existed. So talk about your selection process, what led you to IU East.
Well, actually, my parents were watching a video of this show, actually, when Shane was being interviewed. And I walked up behind my mom, and I was like, oh, I know him. Like, he's trained me before. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And then about a week later, he calls me up on the phone and says, I didn't know you had a sister that goes here. She's been giving the recruits tours and all this. And I was like, oh, well, I had no idea about that. And so, I kind of started talking to him a little bit about the campus, and I came on a visit. Haley gave me my tour. So, I mean, it's a little biased, but it was a really good time, and I was already looking at smaller schools. So I had a couple options. I had a school in Missouri and also Huntington. But I really just liked the fact that I had a connection with Shane already because he had trained me at my club. And I just really like the feel of the campus, and I want to study physical therapy after I graduate, and the Human Life Science program is pretty good for setting me up for that. So.
Okay, then turning to athletics here at IU East then a little bit. Haley, for those that maybe haven't seen the IU East women's basketball team, just to describe your role on the team.
My role has changed throughout the years. I am more of a rebounder now. Defensive post player, so I gotta handle all the big girls. I don't know, and I'm just taking that leadership role. That's my new role since I'm becoming a senior.
Right. And same question, Brooke, for those that maybe haven't seen the IU East women's soccer team, describe your role out there on the pitch.
So I'm a center back, and basically a center back is just gonna be kind of the last line of defense, and then also I can see the entire field, so I need to be communicating with my team pretty much the entire game and just directing them. And then, I mean, with practice and stuff, I just try to be the hardest worker that I can and set a good example for my teammates, and then as well as in the classroom too. So I think that's probably my biggest role.
All right, so now that you've met the Conway sisters, we'll talk more about their careers here at IU East when we come back on Inside IU East Sports.
3 years ago, I came here to play basketball here at IU East, and I'm a business finance major, and I really just wanted to get into a bank, and First Bank Richmond was very accepting and gave me an opportunity. I kind of got to see more as an employee instead of a student athlete of how they really impact the community. Back home, I feel like there's really not an organization like First Bank Richmond that gives back to their community like they do here in Richmond. First Bank Richmond is just very generous in all that they do in the community, and that is tremendous.
What if a home phone could also be a smartphone? And what if that home phone could save you money on your home and wireless bill at the same time? With Xfinity Voice, you get amazing technology like readable voicemail on your smartphone, caller ID on your TV, and even text messaging, all for a low price. Start saving with unlimited nationwide talk and text and switch to Xfinity Voice for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Almost done.
Now you can pay your bill, manage your appointments, and check your connection status. Anytime, anywhere.
Oh, so you're protesting? Okay.
Introducing Xfinity My Account, available on any device.
Hi, I'm Kyle Tom with Caldwell Banker Lingle. I've been blessed to be a broker here in the Richmond-Wayne County community for over 25 years, and I love our community. I would like to take this time to thank you, my customers, clients, friends, and family, for giving me the opportunity and the support to be able to give back to the charitable organizations and youth activities in our community. If you're thinking of selling your home, join our team and help be a part of giving back to the youth in our community.
And welcome back to Inside IU East Sports. We're chatting with IU East's very own sister act, Haley Conway and Brooke Conway with the IU East women's basketball and women's soccer teams. So we've talked about the path that led you to IU East now that you're here. Haley, we'll start with you. You've been on the basketball team for 3 years now. A lot of successes in that time.
Yes.
What's your very favorite on-court memory over the last few years?
Probably winning the conference championship. I knew they hadn't won it. Had they won it before?
Not the tournament, so...
Yeah, so that was kind of special, especially my freshman year is just amazing. My first year got to win a conference championship. There's no other feeling like it, so I hope we can do it again this year.
Right, one of my favorite memories as well. Brooke, same question. Folks, hard to believe only 2 years of a women's soccer program here, and really successful this past year with a 12-4-4 record and a pretty good first year as well. What are your favorite on-the-field memories to this point?
My first would probably be just that first inaugural match. It was really, really cool walking out and having our names like introduced at the beginning of the game. That was really special. And then this past season, making it to the conference championship, me personally, we had to go to PKs, and I got to take a PK, and I made it. So that was pretty cool. We ended up losing, but it was still really great to be there and get the opportunity to play for a conference championship so early on in our program. So
it's still 2 years to go for you as well.
Yeah.
So, similar question, this time off the court, a favorite memory from your time in the basketball program that doesn't actually have anything to do with basketball.
Well, it kind of has to do with basketball since it was team bonding. This might be one of my worst and kind of favorite. We got to go to Marines training, and we might have died a little bit. People got poison ivy. Someone had something like stuck in their skin. There were spiders everywhere. But it was awful at the time, but we bonded through it. So I thought it was a cool experience to have.
Unforgettable no matter
Yes.
how you slice it. So, Brooke, I don't think Shane's done anything quite like that to your team. That's a favorite off-the-field memory for you.
Yeah, we didn't do anything that crazy, but we did go on a team like canoeing trip, and all sorts of fun things happened on that. A couple of teammates kind of got stuck in the mud, tipped over, whatnot, and then I was actually canoeing with my teammate Alicia Shrink, and we were just like powering through and finished like 30 minutes before everybody else. We were just sitting at the end of the, I don't know what you call it, river, I guess, just waiting for everybody else. But yeah, that was a really fun time because that was our freshman year, and everybody was kind of just getting to know each other and getting to know everybody's little quirks. So I think that was a really cool trip for us.
In addition to being great athletes, you both do a great job in the classroom as well. So both of you have been academic all-conference. Haley, you were an NAIA scholar athlete, and Brooke, the only reason you weren't is because you aren't old enough yet, but you're on pace to do that as well. Haley, if you could first talk about your academic, you already talked about your major, but how that's going in your career plans once you're done here.
It's going pretty well. I'm actually thinking about teaching high school math, so elementary education might change a little bit. I'm getting my minor in math, so that will help me. I'll have to test into high school math for teaching it, but I plan on teaching right away, hopefully. I don't know if I'll stay in Indiana or go somewhere else, but I'm excited about that.
And Brooke talked about your academic career to date and your career plans once you're done here.
Yeah, so I'm on the human life science track right now, and once I finish up with that, I am going to go to graduate school for physical therapy. I'm planning on going somewhere warmer, so yeah, I'll probably be applying somewhere a little more south, but yeah, other than that, it's right on track, so.
Haley, today, any particular favorite class or academic experience that stands out in your mind?
I actually got to study abroad in Florence, Italy. So just going overseas and seeing like another culture was a super cool experience, and I got to take classes over there as well. So.
Okay. And Brooke, same question. Particularly enjoyable academic experience here.
I think right now my favorite class has actually been chemistry. The subject is actually very difficult, but I have Dr. Law as my professor, and he is just an outstanding person and really funny, and he's just made my time here a lot more enjoyable. So.
And you both have, I hate to use the word mastered, but done a darn good job balancing the academics and athletics. If any young future Red Wolves are watching, what advice might each of you have as far as keeping those things in a proper balance?
I would say just finding balance between the two, finding time in between classes and practices. It's difficult to do sometimes because you want to take naps, which I still do, but sometimes you just have to take shorter naps.
Yeah, I mean, mine's pretty much the same as Haley. It's just, you know, if you have an early morning practice and a 12 p.m. class, you kind of got to find time. Maybe I get a little bit of homework done here, or, you know, just prepare for class in between those little gaps you have. And it's you really have a lot more free time in college than you think. So it's just a matter of managing that time and kind of deciding between, you know, a tough choice, which is a nice nap, or, you know, getting ahead and getting your work done. But it's not too bad.
And speaking of that free time, I know we keep you pretty busy, but any hobbies or interests that maybe our fans might not know about you?
Well, I know what yours is. You want me to help you?
Sure. Tell me my
She
hobbies.
likes to like go on like hikes and stuff, and you like to watch Netflix a lot. But mine, I kind of like to explore Richmond. Like I'll go to the waterfall, and I call it the Sketchy Bridge. I don't really know where it is. It's on Sim Hodgins.
Okay.
There's like this little bridge, so I just kind of like to explore Richmond. It's I don't know. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah, I'm a really big music fan also, so I love going to concerts, and I'll go to Indianapolis a lot and go to smaller shows. But yeah, and then I just like being outdoors. I like going hiking, finding new places throughout Indiana, Ohio to go hiking and stuff too. So.
Okay. And last couple of questions. Again, been together basically for life as sisters. I'm sure there's moments where you didn't always get along, but deep down I'm sure there's moments you're proud as well. So Haley, I'll lead off with you. The proudest you've been of Brooke, whether it was an athletic related thing or not.
I was probably the proudest when she actually committed here. She actually played a trick on me, her and Shane did. And they said that she was going to go to Huntington, and I was like really disappointed, like I almost cried, honestly. But I was just happy when someone's like, oh, like, she's committing. I was like, what? Like, I was really shocked. So when she signed and I was there, I was just really proud of her.
Was it days or hours, or how long did we manage to lead you on here?
I had to be just like a day,
day,
or two.
I think.
Yeah.
About a
Nothing
day,
too
I was really
extreme.
upset.
And then the same question, Brooke, the proudest you've been of Haley.
I think just seeing her kind of branch out as she's been here and getting more time on the court and becoming a leader, because growing up she's kind of been a shy person, and just seeing her step into more of a leadership role on the court, and then kind of exploring more in her major. She went to Italy, and I think that was a really big step for her, just kind of being more open and curious. So it's been really cool.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for joining us today. Accomplished great things in your 5 combined years here, and look forward to more in the 3 combined years that you have remaining. So you can learn more about the Conway's accomplishments at iueredwolves.com. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit of tennis here on Inside IUE Sports.